Vice President Joe Biden is in Guatemala today, meeting with Central American leaders. He's hoping to get their help in stopping the surge of unaccompanied minors arriving in the U.S. The flood of children has become a crisis for the government as it scrambles for solutions. NewsHour reporter P.J. Tobia prepared this report on why these children are coming and what's happening to them once they arrive.
Last year, 11-year-old Nodwin survived a journey that has killed many adults. He traveled from Honduras to the U.S. border overland almost entirely by himself. He almost drowned crossing the Rio Grande River near Texas in an inflatable raft.
The boat suffered a puncture and I went under the water, but I managed to grab onto a piece of wood, and that's how I saved myself.
He says he made this dangerous journey because his hometown in Honduras has been overrun by criminal gangs.
Big people force the children to sell bad things, and if they don't do it, they rape them or they kill them.
Nodwin once witnessed a boy his own age gang raped in a neighborhood park after the child refused to join a local drug gang.
They were stripping a kid naked, and I went to tell the kid's mom. Later I went home, but I didn't want to leave my house because they could have done the same thing to me.
He was living with his grandmother at the time, and his parents, undocumented immigrants who live here in Northern Virginia, quickly hired a coyote or human trafficker to bring their son through Mexico to the U.S. border. His story is not unique. The government says that by May of this year, more than 47,000 unaccompanied children were caught crossing the U.S. border. Between 60,000 and 90,000 are expected to come in 2014, according to the White House. That's more than twice as many last year, 3 times as many as in 2012. They come alone because many have parents here in the U.S. who are undocumented and can't easily leave and return to the country. The majority come from the Central American countries of Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. They enter through the Rio Grande Valley section of the Texas border.
There have been an increase in gang activity in those countries, and there's also, not a very strong rule of law in those countries.
Jennifer Podkol is a senior program officer at the Women's Refugee Commission. She's interviewed hundreds of children who've made the journey from Central America.
They're seeking children of this age, and they're recruiting at schools, they're recruiting at youth centers, they're recruiting and going after children who are participating in youth groups and churches, so they're really targeting a particular age group.
The government says that compared to previous years, more of the children are under the age of 13. Roger Noriega is a former Assistant Secretary of State for the Western Hemisphere. He says the worsening violence in Central American countries is drug-related.
They sit in this corridor of cocaine trafficking northward to the U.S. market. Weak institutions in most of these countries. They don't have the capacity to resist the criminality and violence that's associated with drug trafficking.